This is the recipe for today's pale ale. So what are you doing, Mark?
I am fixing this hose here from the hot liquor tank, which will go down to the mash tun here, which is full of grains and rice hulls.
Rice hulls?
Yeah.
What?
That's these things here.
What are rice hulls for?
Well, you can see that the grain is pretty powdery, like flour. So what could happen is that when we're draining the liquid out later, that will turn into like a paste, and it can clog up the outflow when we drain the liquid from here into the brew kettle. It can get stuck. That's called a stuck sparge. So the rice hulls kind of keep all the powdery bits separate and create a filter, sort of a matrix.
Okay.
So the liquid can flow through.
I see.
So we are past our temperature, so we need to let the temperature come down a little bit. Then we're going to open up this valve and let the water in. Stir it around really good. Get the temperature.
Okay.
And we'll let it sit for 1 hour. Okay, open her up. Any leaks? I don't see any. How about down here?
No.
See any? All right.
So now what are you doing?
Now I am going to just try to keep any dough balls from forming. And the spoon is not doing the trick. So we got our volume here. It's 12 liters of water for...
And what did you put in here? The
powder?
The thing, yeah. The powder.
I put some pH stabilizer in here just to bring the pH to around 5.2, which is a sort of good all-around pH, apparently. Not a real expert on water. I need to study that more. But okay, I'm going back to the other spoon now. Oh boy, big clumps down there. Gotcha. Thought you could hide under all that other grain, but you couldn't. Yeah, it's dough ball city here. Alright. It's getting thicker as I'm getting more of this doughy crap all dispersed. And yeah, it smells awesome. It's getting kind of frothy, and I want to get a temperature reading. While we're waiting for the mash to mash, I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you my bazooka tea. Come over here.
Okay.
Have a look. Isn't that cool? That's a bazooka tea. Ask me what it does.
So what does bazooka tea do?
Well, I'm going to boil the wort in this big boil kettle. During that time, a lot of protein material is going to coagulate. I'm going to throw hops in here, and that's going to swirl around and create more crud. At the end of the boil, there's going to be a lot of crud at the bottom. So what the bazooka tea does is Well, as you can see, it's a screen. So all the stuff will get stuck in the screen, and then the relatively clear wort will be able to come out the out the spigot.
I see.
Thus, the bazooka tea.
What are you doing now?
Well, what I'm doing now, that's good, since you asked, is that the mash is done, and I'm recirculating the wort. If you want to come over here, have a look in here. I've done this a couple times now, but at first you get a lot of grain husk stuff in the wort. That's the liquid. It's called wort. You'll get a bunch of grain husk stuff in there, and so recirculating it filters out all the little husky stuff. And now it's running pretty clear. This is the 4th time I've done this. Getting all kinds of oxygen in there, which they say is not good, but then you just kind of gently pour it back in the top. We'll do one more.
So this is...
And this clarifies it. So now it's running really pretty, it's cloudy, but it doesn't have little bits of grain floating around in it. So this is now ready to go into the boil kettle. Just about. So far so good.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to start the first runnings, runoff, something like that. So here goes. Open the valve up. And I don't want to go too fast and get stuck sparge, like I mentioned before. But there it is. There's the wort coming out. And yeah, it's kind of cloudy. You can see some grain stuff in there, but I've had really good luck having nice clear beer by the end of it, so that shouldn't be a problem. So we're going to just drain off as much of this as we can, and I'm expecting we'll get about 7-8 liters out of this. No, yeah, probably 8 liters at first. So we'll add some sparge water later and get the rest of our volume.
Why do you want it to... Why don't you want it to be too fast?
I don't want it to be too fast because if it's running too fast, it's sucking... well, can't really see, but it's sucking the liquid out. This very small opening at the bottom, that's going to suck grain around that opening and clog it up. That's called a stuck sparge. And we want to avoid a stuck sparge. So remember we put the rice hulls in at the beginning? That helps avoid a stuck sparge by kind of putting some separation. It's like they're like separators between the husks of grain. So that helps somewhat. And reducing the outflow helps also. This is also another reason that you have a higher temperature. I think that you have a higher temperature for your sparge is to dissolve the remaining sugars more completely and get them to flow more easily. I'm no expert, but I think that's the reason.
Okay, I got it.